Now, I will say this. In Caesar's defense, I think that what we are seeing is an influx of women who are doing this whole sexuality thing and like, oh, I can be just like a man. I'm a go out and do whatever I want to do. The dilemma with that is, even if you take those women in consideration, because I do think that is a new generation of women thinking that that's a trend, right? The problem with that is, you even stated stated earlier, right? Most women not even attracted to most men. Most men, when they go out on these dates, they not leaving with no happy ending. They go on this date and they mad because they not getting da 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 da. So they not sleeping with all these dudes, right? Now they may be sleeping with one dude. They keep sleeping with the same dude, same kind of dude, right? So we count that as one body, but multiple times they're sleeping with him, whether it be a relationship or not. But I don't think that women are just, it's a certain kind of dude that they're willing to do that type of behavior with. Okay. And you got to remember, that type of dude usually has several women that he has choices, because all those women do like that man sexually. You understand? So even if she wanted, he even can be selective because he has so many options. You understand what I'm saying?
So I want to see if you guys can be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if you guys can be honest. Are you saying that an average woman, just a regular average woman, has less bodies than an average man? Just a regular dude, man.
Actually, I think average women be having more bodies than attractive women.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all
No,
I'm saying.
you didn't hear what
I
she
didn't
said.
say more than men. I just said than most women. When they compare women to women, I do think that average women have more bodies than attractive women. I find that attractive women are a little bit more
Selective.
picky.
Okay, so let me just read what this
Most
stat
people
says.
are
And this
average.
is from the National Institute of Medicine and Health, that it specifically says that men reported on average, when they did the study, 40% more sexual relationships than women. So men had more than twice as many sexual partners as women. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay,
I just
let me ask you guys another
so we're
question.
going, hold on. So we're going off of stats from the National Institute of Health. So like I said, a lot of times we're speaking on feelings because it's based on what we're seeing and maybe what you experience based on the environment that you're in. But when you're saying these things, you got to realize that you're a little slice of the pie versus when you're taking in totality of everything. So you're speaking on your anecdotal experiences and what you see versus what the data says.
But once you think about it though, Tara, think about it, be mistaken. Think
I
about
can
this.
see why, because that's what's being portrayed in the media.
Like, and not even that, but you see these younger, because we got to take all ages in consideration, right? So when we see these young girls, they be bragging on a little street, about like, wow, girl, da 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 da, you got to take those girls into consideration too. So sometimes we might be looking into a box and we looking at our age group and maybe people around our age, but we not really taking into consideration maybe that younger crowd that they think like, oh, I'm just doing me, that whole new, and they got
I
these.
agree, but that's what my point is about looking at it in totality. If you're only circling in on one particular piece of the pie, then that makes sense. So if you're only looking at the younger generation of girls that are typically might be more liberal and open to having multiple sexual partners, and you only zoom in on them, that age group, then what he's saying may very well be true. But when you're looking at in the picture of totality, which include our age group and older, then that balances it out, because in our day, more boys were having more sexual
And
partners.
I would say this too. I think that how you get the sexual partners also makes a difference. I think that obviously if you're not married, and even if you are a relationship type of chick, and you go from one relationship, and let's just say that didn't work out, and you go to another relationship, that didn't work out, and you go to that's still counted as sexual relationships, even though to you, well, I wasn't out here just giving my body away. I was in a relationship with somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let,
but that
yes.
was my
Let
point, because when you're looking at different age groups too, like in my mom's generation, like my mother, her sisters, all of them were virgins when they got married. That was a norm in their time, right? But back
yes.
then you had
Yes.
men that had more sexual partners than women.
Yes.
Now I
Yes.
think
Back
the
in the
difference.
day.
Right. So what I'm saying now, when you're looking at the picture, when you're doing studies, when you're looking at the picture, you're looking at the average, which means that includes
But I think he's
this
talking
generation.
about women who are not old. I don't think he's talking about
So
grandmas.
are you talking about age group in their 20s? Because those are in their 20, in their 18, well, we'll say 16, because 16 is the age of consent in most states. So age 16 up to their 20s is going to look very different than those who are in their 30s and 40s. As each generation progresses, what I see is the sexual liberation or freedom to have sex and do what you want, it gets worse and worse. So if he's only looking at that group, then I may agree with him and say that women of that age group may have definitely had more sex partners than men in their age group.
And then
But
you
when
gotta think about too, even with this younger generation, right? They're starting younger. Women, like we already had the conversation about women like to be desired, right? Some women, there are literally some women who feel like they have to do that to get a man to desire them, right? It's
well,
their
they actually said that they have to. Men specifically said, and we've heard it in these spaces, that
Can I ask you guys another question?
with me, if a woman doesn't sleep with me, then I'm not going to be in a relationship with her. I'll wait around until I'll stick around and act like I'm interested until I smash. Once I smash, I'm out. We've heard that.
why you just gotta close your legs, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing
Honestly,
Okay.
some mashed potatoes.
we have all the power in that situation, and it bothers me that we don't understand that. But I think women are getting on the same page as men, which is kind of sad, of the idea of not wanting to be married. Like, I'd rather have sex and the benefits of having a sexual relationship with a man, having a partnership with a man, but I don't want to be married to them, because how does marriage benefit me? I've been seeing more and more posts about that. So I think men and women of this day and age are in alignment with the idea of marriage not being a benefit to them.
And,
Which is
what
sad.
Caesar is saying is, how do you know that that's not the girl he's sleeping with?
The only way you're gonna know is to ask, though. That's it. But if you
Let
avoid the conversation, you'll never know the answer.